Hello everyone, today I want to talk about another brand new card from the Avatar set, and that's Dave Black's Son from a Tiny Leader's Reborn perspective. But before that, I just want to say that this set, the Avatar set, is looking pretty good. Way better than Spider-Man, and don't get me wrong, I know the Spider-Man set got a lot of hate, fair or not, and I was a bit on the more positive side than most people on here. But my god, is Avatar a much better set, and I can't wait to buy a box of it. So for X and 2 black mana, you get a sorcery that states each creature with mana value X or less loses all abilities until end of turn. Destroy those creatures. And call me crazy, but I think this is going to be a sideboard staple for mono black decks, or at least worthy of consideration. It's a bit tougher for TLR since we only get 10 sideboard slots in this format as opposed to the typical 15 that 60 card constructed formats have, meaning that it will be competing with sideboard or even mainboard wipes like Toxic Deluge, the Mihawk Massacre, and Bantu's Last Reckoning, but I think it's worth it to have that discussion. So let's look at the scenarios on why this card has the potential to be good. So if X is 1, then you get rid of all 1 or less mana value creatures. If X is 2, then you get rid of all 2 or less mana value creatures. But if X is 3, then you destroy all creatures on the board by virtue of being in the TLR format. Remember, every single creature in this format is mana value 3 or less. So to destroy all creatures, you'll just have to pay a total of 5 mana, which is pretty decent cost-wise, and it puts it on par with non-legal Tiny Leader cards such as Sunfall and Ultima. And the best thing about this card, no death triggers whatsoever, since all creatures lose all abilities, which also means this gets around indestructible. Toxic Deluge will only cost you 3 mana total, but you lose life playing it, and if your opponent has a really big toughness creature out there, you can end up paying a lot of life. And it doesn't get around death triggers, but it does get around indestructible. Likewise, with the Mihawk Massacre, you can end up spending a lot of mana if your opponent has creatures with a lot of toughness, but with Day of Black Sun, the most mana you will spend is 5 total. And with Bantu, it may only be 3 CMC, but your lands don't tap next turn, which can be pretty rough if you're on the ropes and you need that mana next turn. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Day of Black Sun is better than any of those cards. Toxic Deluge is probably the best board wipe ever printed. There's a reason why the Mihawk Massacre was once banned in Standard and is still a relatively expensive card. All I'm saying is that Day of Black Sun is worthy of consideration and shouldn't be slept on. Okay, now that we've talked about the pros, let's go over some of the cons. Since it's a board wipe, it also kills your creatures, which isn't too much of a downside since you should know what you're getting yourself into when you're playing a board wipe, but it is something to consider. Your own creature's death triggers will also not trigger, so be careful when playing this card, especially in decks such as Sephiroth. 5 total mana can be a lot, especially if this gets countered, so be ready to have a backup plan. Alright, that just about does it. Let me know what you think about this card. Will you be playing it? Am I overrating it? Let me know, and I'll see you guys on the next video.